Welcome all to the Product Management View webinar series. I'm Susanna Baum from FeaturePlan, one of the sponsors of this webinar, and I'll be your moderator. Today I'm happy to introduce Jeff Lash, who will be talking to you about 10 tips for new product managers. Starting off as a product manager for the first time is an exciting and challenging experience. This webinar will cover 10 helpful tips for new product managers, providing specific practical advice for those new to the product management role or thinking about moving into product management. Experienced product managers will benefit as well, as these tips can serve as good refreshers and useful pointers for those who are taking on additional or different product management responsibilities. Your speaker, Jeff Lash, is a product director at Elsevier, a publisher of scientific, technical, and medical information. He also blogs about product management on the blog How to Be a Good Product Manager. Prior to working in product management, Jeff was a member of Elsevier's User-Centered Design Group and also practiced information architecture and user experience design. He has written articles on product management and user-centered design for Boxes and Arrows, AIGA's Journal of Business and Design, and Digital Web Magazine. So today, to speak to you about 10 tips for new product managers, I am very happy to introduce Jeff Lash. Take it away, Jeff.
Thanks, Susanna. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for having me. I'd also like to thank FeaturePlan for giving me the opportunity to present and be with you here today. We'll get right into the slides because we've got a lot to cover. Before I get into the tips specifically, I just wanted to talk quickly about what I mean when I say that someone is new to product management. If you're a product manager for the first time, there's actually 4 different situations that you might be in, and those are shown here. On the left, you can see that either you'll be responsible for a new product, so one that hasn't yet started being developed or that hasn't yet hit the market, or you'll be responsible for one that already exists. And across the top, this has to do with your move into a product management position. Essentially, did you take a job at a new company, or did you transition into your product management role in a company where you had already been working, but in a different role? I'm not going to go into the specific differences between these, partially because I don't think we'll have enough time, and partially because I haven't had experience in all these situations. After all, someone can only be new to product management once. But I included this here because I think it's important for you, as someone coming into the role of product manager for the first time, to place yourself on the grid and realize that there may be some tips that are more tailored to one quadrant than another. As we go through the tips, I'll mention some nuances that apply more to someone in one of these situations. So for those of you who are not yet product managers but are interested in becoming one, it may be helpful to think about this grid. Which of these 4 situations sounds most interesting or most likely, and what can you do to prepare yourself for that situation? So with that said, let's get on to the tips. It's difficult to pick just 10 things to talk about for new product managers, but I tried to pick things that helped me when I started out in product management, as well as things that I wish I had done better or done at all when I started out. To be honest, there are a lot of tips I would have for new product manager, but if you do these 10 things well, I think you'll be well on your way to success. These aren't really in priority order, but they are partially in timeline order. You can't do everything at once, obviously, so start with the things at the top of the list. For each of these tips, I'll explain a bit about it and then offer a bit of to-dos, so maybe you can use this as a checklist in your new role. I personally find that when I make my goals and tasks explicit by keeping a list either on paper or electronically, I'm much more likely to keep them front of mind and get them accomplished. And this may help you as well as you start off in product management. It's also a great habit to get into and should help if you follow these tips, should help you if you choose to follow these tips to actually get them, most of them accomplished. So we'll start with the first one, to spend time with customers, which might seem like a basic tip, but when you're starting out in any new position, it's very easy to get wrapped up in all of the stuff that you have to do around the office. There's getting settled into your new desk and filling out paperwork, going to meetings, getting a feel for the office and policies, meeting your new colleagues. It's very easy to put off meeting with customers or to push it back on your schedule, but I think that's probably one of the worst things you can do. As you've probably heard, product managers need to understand the market, and spending time with customers will really help you do that well. You'll understand your needs, you'll understand how your product, if you have a product currently, meets or doesn't meet those needs. You'll find out what other solutions exist and what needs are being unmet. You want to develop and maintain a good understanding of your customers, so as you are doing the things that a product manager does, like develop a strategy and creating a roadmap, setting priorities and just making daily decisions, you want to keep the customer and the market needs front of mind to help